SARS advisor and retired Judge Dennis Davis has announced SARS will be clamping down on tax evaders, and we will be looking more closely at the taxi industry. Bitcoin transactions and illicit tobacco traders are also targets. Now, Davis was speaking at an international webinar on what the tax agency can do to broaden its tax base. Well, let's get some reaction from the taxi industry now about this. We're joined by SA National Taxi Council President Philip Tybosh. Philip, good morning, and thanks so much for your time. I just want to just take a look at what the Minister Tito Mboweni, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni, had to say about taxes and the taxi industry, saying that the industry does not correctly disclose income from taxi business on your CEIT returns, but included under a generic income source code. They're not able to determine income solely from taxi operators as well. So what do you have to say? What is your reaction to the Minister saying that these things are not correctly disclosed by the industry?
I think the minister could be right, but also the minister could go back to his own office and find out what is it that the taxi industry has attempted doing in resolving these problems. Let me indicate that this is not the first case. When Minister Pravin Gordhan, at that time he was the commissioner of SARS. We were not invited by him, but we requested a meeting with him, and we went to his office. And we wanted to put plans around in ensuring that we understand fully how this taxi tax works. Because, you know, at some places you would think that taxi people are making that huge sums of money, when it is really not the case. It's only that he is affording to pay his vehicle, and that should give also some thinkings as to where does he get the money to pay for his vehicle. Secondly, we went to Mr. Tom Moyane's office. As a Santaco, we took a walk to Mr. Tom Moyane's office, and we agreed to put together a team, and a team between ourselves and themselves, to say that how could we assist in ensuring that taxi operators are educated as far as taxi is concerned. Because when you look into the so-called letter that we hide even behind it today as taxi operators, the compliance form, we comply according to that. But it has not told us what next is it to do. And that's the next that we've been asking for the commissioner, both the past commissioner and the present commissioner under Tom Moyane. We have not spoken to the Kiswetas commissioner.
Philip, can I just get in there? Do you admit, though, that there are issues with tax compliance when it comes to the taxi industry, which is largely a cash business? So how do you engage with your members? What are they doing in terms of complying with tax regulations, especially this being such a largely cash business?
That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. You can't give me a cash whip, and you don't tell me how to utilize this cash whip. You just gave me this cash whip and say, as long as you have the certificate, I am happy. And we are saying, come and explain how the certificate works. And that's what taxi operators, most of them, are waiting for. And that's why we keep on saying we are paying tax, because it's only a few of us who are complying. We don't know about the rest, and we will not know about the rest until such time that the necessary document has been corrected to say to Tybosh, this is what you should be doing as far as tax is concerned. We don't know about those things. You understand?
Philip, the taxi industry has been around for however many decades now, taxis. So at what point were you going to try and clear up with the taxman exactly how you're supposed to manage your business, especially when it comes to taxes?
I'm not sure whether I clarified myself very well earlier on. That when Minister Pravin Gordhan was the commissioner, we took a trip to his office and we agreed to put up a team that was going to assist in all provinces. I put people, and I'm sure if you can go to some of their officials, they will tell you there was a team which was put in all the 9 provinces.
And what has happened since then?
Both SANTACO and SARS. Sorry?
And what has happened since then, since you have that team looking into this issue?
I can tell you I don't even know what happened to the team, because I've been asking and they said no, Commissioner Tom Moyane suspended the team, but the team will resuscitate. Okay. And we've been waiting for them.
So in that time then, when you say taxi operators or taxi bosses have had no idea what to do now that they were given some idea back in the day and then the team was now suspended, would it be safe to say then that they have not been paying their taxes or have not been doing what they were supposed to do in all of that time?
I think when we talk about taxes, we must look at the 2 kinds of taxes that we are talking about. We are looking at the business and the personal tax, and we are looking also at the commercial tax that the taxi operators are paying, which is a problem. We want to discuss that commercial tax with the receiver of revenue. We don't know how to do that. We have written a letter about 2 years ago to Mr. Tito Boweni, and I can tell you we have not received a response since then.
Well, Philip, I also want to ask you, I mean, this is a 90 billion rand industry, the taxi industry itself, having paid just 5 million in tax last year. So if you say that on some level taxi bosses are complying, how do you account for that figure?
I didn't deal with any figure, and I will not comment on any figure, because what I'm saying, I am saying that you've got thousands and thousands of taxi operators who have compliance certificates. Have they been taught what these compliance certificates mean to them? No. And what should they do in ensuring that they are able to report to SARS? They don't know. So that's why we say we want to take hands with SARS. We want to address this problem. We will send our teams with SARS teams so that people in provinces are being sort of coached how to deal with this whole issue of SARS.
Philip, just before I let you go, so when do you plan to do that? When do you plan to sit down with the authorities, with those that you are answerable to, and get this sorted out going forward?
I'm instructing the Secretary General of SANTACO to write a letter before the end of the week to Mr. Kisveta, so that we can find a way of sitting down and discussing these things. I don't think that there's anywhere where taxi people are saying that, no, SARS, we don't want to pay SARS. No, they want to pay SARS, but they want to know what is it that they are paying SARS for. Because I'm indicating these 2 taxes. That the other one, I know that it is meant to be a once-off tax, the 12% value-added tax. But we are not happy in the manner in which the financiers are working on that particular tax, and we would want to get an explanation. And the only correct explanation we can get around that, it is to go to the treasurer himself and ask those questions. So I can indicate to you that by tomorrow the Secretary General of SANTACO will have written a letter.
All right, Philip Taibosh, thanks very much
for request of a meeting.
Thanks, Philip. Philip Taibosh there from SANTACO, that's the SA National Taxi Council.